Welcome to the Munchkin Minute, your bi-weekly look into some tabletop gaming news and more. I'm your host, Dan the Board Game Man, and this is your news for the end of April 2025. So news is coming a bit slow, and some of the games don't have a whole lot of info that I am getting some news on, and a lot of publishers are in kind of holding patterns, waiting to see what's going to be next up with all the tariff situation and if any resolution is in sight. And then there's the Kickstarter and GameFound kind of implications as well, but we'll talk a bit about that a little bit later. So first up, Asmodee announced they're going to be releasing Pergola. This is a light to medium weight Euro about gardening, and this will be out in the US in May next month. It'll be about $45. Interesting little one. You're kind of, players are choosing one of four available tools on their turn, and depending on the tools and how you want to arrange things in your garden, the tools are going to determine the action that are going to corresponding action for it. 1 to 4 players, plays about an hour. That's one of these 1 hour wonders, kind of a light to medium weight Euro. That should be a bit of fun with some good art as well. Devir Games is going to release their successful crowdfunded version of Mythfield Games' Dragons of Etchinstone later this year. This should be out about Q4. I think this one will be about $15, but there's a bunch of little kind of mini expansions and stuff. When it was on GameFound, I think it had like $30 kind of bundles that they had together. This is from one of the designers of Buttons and Bugs, which is that small little Gloomhaven thing that was released. And this has that really kind of cool 18 card feel where you're kind of choosing and, going through different monsters, choosing your actions very, very wisely. But it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty excited to see what, how Devir Games kind of chip theorifies it, if you will. And this one may be a little bit more, I would say a little bit more complex, still light to medium, but I do love solo games, and I have all the faith in the world that chip theory will do well with this one. Next up, Devir Games is going to release Moirai, from Alberto Millan. This one should be about out as you hear it. I think this one is about $12. Interesting little, just another one of these smaller card games with an interesting theme, kind of a Greek mythology theme. You're basically just kind of taking a card and playing it in front of you in a certain way, or you're kind of discarding a card, or you're grabbing all the cards in discard pile. You just got to be really careful because if at the end of the game, once the game does end, different cards in your hand are going to be negative points, like a lot of different card games. But this one does look like a nifty little theme, a very light card game, but a pretty fun kind of route building, depending on your goals, type card game as well. Asmodee is also going to be releasing the next expansion for Splendor. I didn't realize that they weren't stopping putting out Splendor, but this one looks pretty cool. Splendor, The Sun Never Sets. This one will be out next month. Should be about $17. I'll have a link to the pre-order as well. There's not really a whole lot of information out there. This is a good price point. It only really adds like 2 little modules with a couple of new mechanics. From their site, they say the expansion adds bastions and the ability to forge lucrative trade routes to the Orient, expanding your options and adding fresh challenges to your strategy. As I said, it doesn't really tell you a whole lot there, but there are some more cards out there, and there's some more little kind of meeples that you're using. So I'm sure that'll be going into probably a little bit more player powers as you're playing it as well. So it's a little bit hard to tell what it is. But man, anything new for Splendor, I love Splendor. Such a great game, one of the best. But anything new for Splendor, I'll be happy to add to there. Fireside Games announces a game in their Castle Panic universe, which is kind of funny because I don't think it's just basically in theme. I don't think it has anything to do with Castle Panic, but it's called Please Don't Burn My Village. This one will be released in June of this year. Should be about $25. And again, another one of these kind of push your luck kind of card games, because depending on what's left in your hand, you may have some negative points, but you're basically trying to earn favor with the dragon, but you still have to get the cards. So there is going to be cards that you're going to have to forego and put into the black market to kind of move the favor up and down, and you're playing out sets of cards. This one looks really good. Another light card game. I love these little kind of card games that are great for kind of weekend game night or holidays and things like that, especially, summer around outside playing these card games and such. This one looks great. This one is designed by Simon Weinberg and should be out in June, and definitely pick that one up. Now, each year, I like advent calendars, around Christmas or in other times of the year that they do come out, because Fanroll Dice puts these out usually at Christmas and around Halloween. Now, Fanroll did announce a new Halloween advent dice calendar that'll be out this year. I think it's out in August, and it'll be about $75. I don't really love the price of that, but I mean, it's an advent calendar and it's dice, and these are kind of high quality dice. So I guess it's not really that big a deal because you're getting 31 items in there, including a bag, a metal die, a bunch of different types of resin dice. So, I mean, I guess when you break it down, it's probably a good deal. And they are really, really nice. I've gotten these in the past for my daughter, and the dice look just absolutely amazing. Really nice bag. And everything that comes in it is just really good. I'll have a link to Fanroll Dice website. I don't see it available yet. I just got the notification in the email about this one will be out. So probably later, I would definitely kind of check on their website a little bit later in the spring or summer to check it out as well. Tonight in the Adam Spotlight, I've got two great gentlemen with real good podcast and content creation outlet. They're from Love Thy Nerd. I got to spend a lot of time with both Bubba Stallcup and Matt Warmber, two of the founders of Love Thy Nerd at Adam this year. They're just great guys with absolute love for all things gaming, teaching games, working at cons, having fellowship, playing and covering games, and just spreading the good word. I really love their content. And again, such great guys. Their network has a variety of great shows from board gaming to RPG to faith-based shows and RPGs and comics and even a wrestling-based show. And like I said, I got to play a bunch of games with these guys over that long weekend at Adam. A bunch of great time shooting the breeze. And of course, I love talking trash with games. Bubba was great to put up with me talking trash, just all in good fun. And of course, we had just an absolute great time and a pair of good guys. And I'm sure if you have the pleasure of bumping into them at a con or checking out any of their shows, you'll find that they're great people. And there are something on there in the network would be something you'd want to listen to. And also, I mentioned these two guys as well, not only because they were great that I met at Adam, but they also have the unfortunate pleasure of receiving a beatdown this coming Monday, May 5th, from myself and Matt Riddle as we play them live on Codename Live. Of course, they'll probably beat us, but I love to talk trash. So anyway, we'll be playing against them on Codenames Live this Monday. So check it out, 8 p.m. on Monday. That's Eastern time over there on Twitch. So let's head on over to crowdfunding real quick. Before I get into crowdfunding, I just want to reiterate something I see on pages now. So this is like a gazillion % backer or buyer beware. Now, don't get me wrong. There are, I want to help publishers out in this time with unknown, things with tariffs and such, but I keep seeing multiple pages saying kind of quote unquote charges are unknown and will be added later due to tariffs. That kind of scares me. So again, two things that I've seen: the exact amount of any tariff charge will be calculated in the Pledge Manager when shipping is charged, and backers will have the opportunity to proceed or get a refund of their pledge minus platform costs. I saw that on one of the Kickstarters tonight. While understandable, that statement just lost my money because just all the uncertainty and minus having to still platform costs if it's not what I want to pay. Now, I understand that they have to pay these things to do a Kickstarter, but that's the cost of you doing business. In my opinion, I wouldn't want to lose any money just because the tariffs went crazy and or you just decided to charge. And again, this gives them the right to charge kind of whatever they want. I mean, I want to trust a lot of these Kickstarter publishers, and I generally do, but the uncertainty is not good enough for me. And a second one I saw on one of these Kickstarter out there, prices shown on the Kickstarter page are net values, and it will be increasing by shipping tariffs for U.S. backers. As the tariff situation is in flux, we will not charge customers their tariff fee now. Tariff fees will be collected in our post-campaign Pledge Manager. We will do our best to our backers and will share the cost of the extra fee. Please see the FAQs and future updates for more info on tariffs. And again, while I feel for publishers right now, 100%, I just don't know if I'm going to back anything at all right now. And I know that goes against helping people out and such and helping the publishers out, but it's so much in flux that when you just don't know what a publisher can or will charge you 6 to 12 months down the road, I want to put that, and even with them putting that disclaimer on there, listen, I'll likely help publishers out by buying things directly from their websites to help them out. Of course, I would, of course, use the Major Spoilers affiliate links to give some back to Steven. Again, I don't want to discourage anybody from, I try not to put editorial spin on anything, but it's definitely buyer beware. And I want everybody just to know that in case you don't, like a lot of times these pages are so long that some of the stuff just gets kind of buried at the bottom of these pages. So if you don't see that, just realize that it is a big possibility. That being said, I want to talk about some Kickstarters that I did like, and a lot of companies that I do like. However, again, buyer beware and just be careful. Even if I like a company, I don't know, I haven't gone researching every single thing and I haven't asked everybody what they're going to charge for tariff-wise, but I do want to cover a few. So first up, Earth Animal Kingdom expansion. It's got about 2 weeks to go. And this is from, of course, the great people over at Inside Up Games. I love Connor. And I love Brandon over there at Inside Up Games. They are absolutely great people. And this has got some really, and Earth is such a great game. I mean, this is an evergreen, absolutely amazing game. If you haven't picked it up, or if you haven't played it, play it first. But it's a great one to pick up if you do like these sort of games. Kind of in that Terraforming Mars kind of umbrella family, if you will, with multi-use cards and just great gameplay. It's on BGA, but it's very hard to learn on there because there's a lot going on. But that doesn't mean it's hard to learn, period. Just a little bit hard to learn in that interface. Anyway, they've got a whole bunch of new things coming in there. 36 animals that are change how you're going to build, adapt, and score your diverse ecosystem. And there's a lot of good stuff. So they also have a kind of an everything new pledge, which is $159 US. But kind of what that does is has a lot of new add-ons where there's Animal Kingdoms expansion, the Disasters mini expansion module, and then a 3x4 Game Toppers playmat, which will go great on your Game Topper, and an insert organizer by LaserOx and a Kickstarter gift. So that's why that one's expensive. The expansion itself is only going to be about $29. So that's just for the expansion. They have other pledge levels for if you want to get in and get everything or get the base game as well. But anyway, well funded and about 2 weeks to go. Next up, another game that I would kind of back, again, if I was going to back anything right now, Flamecraft Duels. Now, this is a 2-player competitive pattern matching game set in a Flamecraft world. Now, this has almost nothing to do with Flamecraft other than the dragons and the great art. And again, the art is really good, but the game itself has really nothing to do. Just a 2-player game about kind of pulling chits out of, nice chits out of a bag and making different patterns. They'll have some things in there that you can add to the original Flamecraft in some of the different, I believe some of the levels, or it may just come with the regular level. And I want to say, the price of this one is really nice. It's a pretty cool deluxe box that you have that you're playing on. It carries everything. And then you're playing on the top of it with a bag and the deluxe pieces. Only $30. And it is should be out later this year. It's got that's a really good price point. Again, who knows when it's delivered what your price point may be due to tariffs and such, but that price point as far as Kickstarter goes is really, really good one. Next up is kind of a reprint. This is Nippon Zaibatsu. This is kind of a game from, I believe, 2015. Now, it's kind of a new edition with some updating, some streamlining. It's kind of a heavier weight. I'd say a heavier, medium to heavyweight Euro. Just think of it as a heavyweight Euro. And it's an economic Euro, so not really up my alley. I have played it. It's okay. But again, maybe they streamlined it to where I would like it. But they're doing some really good upgrading and updating to a lot of different things in this. And again, it is a fast-paced area majority economic game, as they say, 1 to 4 players. And you're looking at about 2 to 3 hours because it is a heavier weight game, but it is a real solid game as well. 3 weeks to go, just not really a Dan game. But anyway, 3 weeks to go, you can get this in this one for about $60 for the standard edition, and then there's a Emperor's edition for $80. 3 weeks to go, it is well funded as well, and that one is by crowdfunded Games up there. Next up, Trickerion, the 10-year anniversary edition. This is 10 years of Magic with brand new expansion and stunning edition of all Trickerion-related content. About a week to go from Mind Clash Games. Now, Trickerion is a wildly popular game, 10 years old. I just can't even believe it's 10 years old already. But anyway, this edition has got pretty much everything in there. You can get all the extras that you want to get included in this 10th anniversary edition. Medium to heavy Euro game with all about illusionists. And you've got some worker placement in there and some, kind of pool building, if you will. This plays in about 2 to 3 hours, depending on how many things you add to it. But it's not really that kind of crazy, overwhelming game, but just depending on all the different things that you do add to it will make it a little more lengthy, if you will. You can get in this one for about $171 US. And that kind of brings you a little bit of everything. That's the featured anniversary edition. But if you just want different expansions to it or just the anniversary upgrade pack, the upgrade pack is about $40. Just the kind of Arcane Arts expansion is about $29. So there's a lot of different ways you can get in on this one. But it is a wildly popular game Tricarion. So check that one out. And finally is Night Soil. I wanted to talk about this one real quick. This one is by Grail Games, just because it's got an interesting theme. Basically, sanitation working in old school London. Basically, as you're doing different actions and work, using your workers out there and trying to expand your influence, if you will, you're going to create poo in the different areas, which basically a lot of times is basically just kind of the cubes of death in a lot of different games. And the whole main thing about the game is you're going to have to use part of your working to clean up that soil as well. It says it's a very mature game about sanitation in Tudor London, cleaner streets to earn your living under the cover of darkness. You can get in on this one for about $36 US. But again, like I said, with all of these, just buyer beware because of all the tariffs things that are going on. So thanks for joining me today. If you see any news you think I'd like to feature, shoot me a message at GeekJockDan on Twitter. You can also find me on Facebook and on Instagram as well. Please check out Majorspoilers.com for more content by Steven and the rest of the Major Spoilers crew. And of course, check out my show, the Geek All Stars podcast. As always, I'm Dan, the Board Game Man, and I'll see everyone in a couple weeks for another Munchkin Minute.
This podcast is copyright 2025 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.